welcome to another episode of the CB750. Today, I haven't got that much to show you. I mean, it's not an excuse for you to click off the video or anything like that, but there isn't really much in terms of filming this. But there really isn't much to show in terms of what we did to the tank, only because it was done by other people. But what I can show you is the end result and actually the process of putting the vinyl lettering on the tank. So at least it fills you in on kind of the gaps on this. So as you can see here, we have the original 1979 CB750 tank that came with the bike, and it's got a few dents, and we really don't mind the dents. I mean, my friend who I'm building the bike for quite likes the dents because it kind of fits in with the narrative of kind of what we're doing. So to fill everyone in, this is probably a part that we've never actually explained before, because we didn't know how it was going to pan out and how the bike was going to turn out and whether it was going to be, you know, stick to the brief in a way. But the person whose bike this is loves the film The Warriors, and of course the film was out in 1979. It came out in 1979. It's a cult film, and in a nutshell it's about different gangs of New York and things like that, but the Warriors themselves are a specific gang in that film. And what we wanted to create was a bike. So obviously this CB750, the 10th anniversary edition, came out in 1979 as well, at the same time as the film. So we wanted to create a bike that the Warriors themselves might have ridden back then. So it's a mixture of things. We didn't want this bike to look too new. We wanted it to have bits of the original bike, so I mean, we're going to keep a few rusty bolts and things. And what we are going to do probably in next week's episode is actually upholster the seat out of a second-hand leather jacket from eBay, just to give it kind of a bit of that upcycling, but kind of brings a bit more authenticity to the bike and a bit more rough and ready and a lot more history. So what I like about bikes is bikes that have soul, and you know, if you're showing all these battle scars like this, I mean, it is a 40-year-old tank. It's in a really good condition considering it's a 40-year-old tank, but it has got a few dents, so I want to keep that and show a bit of history on the bike. But what we did do first of all is sandblast this tank, only to get into all the crevices, and the sandblasting actually gave us quite a coarse finish. I mean, the vapor holding would have been a lot less intrusive in a way, but we didn't have that option to hand. We just sandblasted it. But then what we did afterwards was go over it with a lot of sandpaper, a lot of time, a lot of different grits, and then some polish at the end. So we started off at a 400 grit sandpaper, polished it all down, then went up all the way to 1500. A 1500 gave us this really nice finish. I wouldn't say it's polished, it's reflective, so you can actually see, you know, you can see the spotlights and my studio lights from here. It gives us a nice finish, and you can actually see your face in part of it as well. If I hold my hand in front of it, you can see it. But it's not quite a mirror finish. We didn't want it to be a mirror finish, we wanted it just to be a steel tank. Going over that afterwards with then some autosol, then brought it up to, again, that finish that we wanted. Now it will rust, that is the only thing, and kind of in debating about whether to clear coat it, have a satin clear coat, whether to powder coat it clear, and all this. What we've decided in the end is just use some boiled linseed oil on top of it. So a bit of WD-40 as we were polishing it, as we were sanding it down, some WD-40 just to keep, you know, that protective layer on, and then boiled linseed oil at the end. And this doesn't seem to be rusting now. I mean, the vinyl is fresh on it, but the rest of it doesn't seem to be rusting. It seems to be keeping it out of bay, which is good. It's what we want. If we can keep that going, if it requires, you know, to be oiled once every 2 weeks, it's not the end of the world. It's a 2-second job just to oil it whilst you're in the garage, something like that. And I mean, I quite like it from a tactile point of view. If you're putting a clear coat on something, you kind of then not feeling that steel anymore. You know what I mean? I know it's a weird thing to say, but it's very tactile for me. But what I will go into is how we put these vinyls on. And amongst the mess here, so as you can see, it's kind of like full on at the moment. Got the number plate, or the license plate from the CX500 I did in Florida. And this is the tank. So the tank is all polished. I mean, it's reflective, you can see me in here, but it's not absolute mirror. What we didn't want it to do was look chrome. We want it to look like polished steel, which is what it is. It is the bare steel. It's been coated with just some polish actually, which will keep the rust away for a short duration of time. But that is the tank. So the next step is to put the decal on it. tank is on. I know it's not been much of an episode for you. I know it's not showing the nitty gritty of how we've actually come to doing that tank, but trust me, a lot of grit. There we go, got some 400 here. 400? Sure, that's not 400. Oh, it is actually. Some 400 going up all the way to 1500. Just taking your time, going over it. If you see little dents or any scratches or anything like that, then go back to a coarse grit sandpaper, just sand it out a little bit and go back over it with a higher level grit sandpaper. And that is pretty much all we've done for this tank. We'll see if it stands the test of time. I mean, there will be an update later on down the road when this bike goes back to its rightful owner. There will be updates on how the tank is lasting and things like that, and you never know, we might end up going down the clear coat route. If it becomes too much of trouble to kind of maintain this and kind of oil it every weekend, then we will have to do something else. We might end up clear coating it. So that is all for this. Now, don't forget, coming up this week, there'll be more videos of the CX500 over in Dime City Cycles in Tampa, which is an amazing episode, and what that bike's going to turn out into, I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. What we'll be doing as well is taking the GS550 out for its first shakedown. I mean, it's a beautiful day today, so why not? The bike is taxed, it's registered, it's everything that needs to be done, insured, so we might as well take that out, seeing as it's a nice day if we've got time as well. I really want to see that. There'll be more CX500 videos, the original CX500, the red one. Will be riding videos of that now that the sun is coming out, and yeah, after the bike shed show there's going to be peace. Absolute peace after the bike shed show has been. And as well, once this bike is done, we'll be starting the Ducati Monster as well, so there's a lot going on this channel. If you want to stay up to date with all these bikes, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you get notifications when the new videos are out. Visit fortheworldofindustries.com if you want to see if there's any merchandise that you like and want to support this channel, and more importantly, head to Dime City Cycles link below to donate for the charity that we're doing, the CX500, for the Prostate Cancer Foundation charity, and you could be in with a chance to win that CX500. We'll ship anywhere worldwide, so wherever you are. I mean, there's some exclusions, I think. Read the T's and C's, but pretty much anywhere. Donate, and I'd love one of you guys to actually win that bike. So until Friday's video, ride safe, stay safe, and I'll speak to you then.